Hey friends, it's Eugene.
I'm Becca.
And we're here from Workerbee Supply, and today we have a new fun video for you. We're going to do something a little different than our recent list videos. So this one's going to be more of an informal discussion about some of the highest paid freelance jobs that you can do from home. Now, both of us have been freelancing from home for a while. For me, it's been about 12 to 13 years.
Okay. Yeah, maybe about 7 years for me.
All right, we'll get in there.
Like officially, yeah.
So,
Full time.
We've done a few different types of freelance work. We also have a lot of friends and colleagues who do freelance work from home. So we're gonna work down this list. It's from invoicely.com, and we have 9 really high-paying work from home freelance jobs that you could start doing.
Work from home freelance jobs.
So a lot of people are thinking right now, obviously the given situation, where you go to make money, or if you have some downtime, maybe you can retrain for a new career. And a lot of people are really considering working from home, not just for the immediate short term, but for the longer term as well. And I thought this would be a good opportunity, since there is so much time to retrain, that if you're someone who hasn't loved your job and are considering switching careers, this could be a very good time to do that. You have the time to learn new skills, and you also have the time to look for work, and then when you come out in the job market, you can be much better prepared to earn more, do something you enjoy more, and maybe utilize some of the skills you've been developing over the years that you don't realize could bring you more income. So I have a list of 9. You don't know where they are.
No.
Where they are. So why don't we start, just to make it a little more fun, why don't you let me know when you think of like high-paying work from home jobs, what comes to mind?
Well, I'm trying to I just thought of this now, and I was thinking about one that has a pretty high-level skill set, that's kind of more nitty-gritty, and I thought of kind of a web developer, but more kind of what your brother does, more
Cool. Well, why don't we start with web developer, because web developer actually is on the list.
Right.
I think web developer is a pretty unique job because it's super in demand right now, and a lot of people probably don't know this, but at Workerbee, we actually work with quite several businesses to help them implement, launch, and run their Squarespace websites. So we have a little bit of experience with this. I can tell you it definitely pays reasonably well. It really depends on, the kind of clients that you have and how complicated the websites are. But I think this is a job, it's a nice range from being entry level to maybe you're just kind of helping someone set up a blog or something. Or maybe it could be a lot more involved, where you're working on large scale websites, like a bank website or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I think web developing is a nice entry point, and definitely something you can start learning right now while you're at home. There's a lot of courses. Is there any kind of websites you use to learn new skills and things like that you could recommend?
Well, there's definitely Skillshare, but I feel maybe Lynda would be, or LinkedIn Learning, I think it's called now.
Oh, right.
That might be something more in-depth if you wanted to go that far.
I think LinkedIn Learning might have some promos right now, so if there are, we'll link anything down in the description below. Cool. All right, so you went from web developer, and then you mentioned my brother, which probably not a lot of people know what he does, but my brother is, he's a programmer, project manager, but he actually lives in Sao Paulo in Brazil, and he works remotely from home for a company in California. So he is definitely better paying, I would say, than web developer, but it also requires quite a bit more of a skill set.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was implying.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know exactly what to call him.
Yeah,
but I got
we
one
don't
anyway.
either. Slava, what do we call you? Let us know in the comments below. So yeah, I think, programming is something really cool, and it's actually something I've started learning a bit more myself. I've done web development in the past, but since I guess start of January, I've been doing iOS development courses for iPhone apps, and it's actually been really great. I made a few small kind of experimental apps for fun, and I'm just do a little bit every single day, and the service I use for that is actually called Treehouse. I think the website is teamtreehouse.com. So if that's something you're interested in, but you think like, oh, I'm not a programmer, or I don't have the education for that. You can definitely do it. It will take a little longer than something like web developer, but you can 100% become a programmer. And services like Team Treehouse or Udemy.com make it a lot easier to do that. Yeah, but I think that's something you need to plan for a bit of a longer ramp up to when you're actually making serious
So
work.
is this one of the jobs though?
Yeah, it's actually,
Amazing.
you
Okay.
got literally,
Okay.
number one was
So-
web developer and number two is programmer.
Oh my god.
So we're nailing it so far.
Okay, I kind of did like a 2-in-1,
I think you
thinking
can
about
nail,
two separate things, but then brought them together. Okay.
I think you can nail the third one too. You want to give one guess?
Honestly, like I want to say photographer, but I don't know if that's going to be the third one. But one that I was thinking about earlier
I will
was...
say I don't think photographer in this world counts as a work from home job.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was like, work from home. That like changes everything. Okay, so one that I have in mind that could definitely be work from home is just like a social media manager, but more so like marketing manager.
Maybe an internet marketer.
Yes.
Nailed it.
An internet marketer. That doesn't
That's
even
awesome.
sound cool though.
I mean, it sounds however cool
It
you
sounds
make
like
it sound.
telemarketer, you know? Because
Yeah.
internet just sounds like such an old word
So
at this point.
if you're not sure what internet marketer is, I mean, to some degree, we do internet marketing
Yeah.
a little bit. That's not
That
our
was an
primary
easy one.
business. But based on this website, an internet marketer is someone who tries to help a brand reach a larger audience online. So how do you do that? You could do SEO, search engine optimization. You can do content marketing.
Yeah.
You can do social media marketing. You can do email marketing. You can do strategic planning for just the entire content of a company. This is definitely a job you can do. You can work from home doing. We
100%,
know
yeah.
a lot of people. Katie Steckley is an awesome internet marketer.
Yeah.
We've been watching her 10-day course on growing your Instagram and internet marketing on Instagram over the last few days.
Yeah, and we'll link her channel in the description down below because it's amazing.
If-
You go, Katie.
If that's something you're interested in, you should definitely check out Katie on her YouTube channel, link below, and also her Instagram account. So I think the internet marketer is actually something a lot of people in our world probably could do, right?
Oh yeah.
So what are the things, I guess, like to become an internet marketer, do you think people should kind of start?
I think like having a blog of your own, or if Instagram's like important to you, kind of like really finding your voice and becoming a strong writer. And in that really kind of speaking to your audience more so, which I'm not always great at. But that could also mean just like learning how to take pictures as well. If you're
Yeah.
doing small photo shoots at home that support your clients' like message and the work that they do.
This is a job where you just got to start slowly doing it almost for yourself to some degree. I'm sure there's courses and accreditation online, but oftentimes the people I know who have these jobs at companies, they didn't go to any school for it or anything. They just like started doing their own accounts. Maybe they started running a small project with someone, and slowly people started asking them to do it. And even with us, when we launched Workerbee, our Instagram account was a really big part of that. And by creating like video content and Instagram content for our own stuff, people started approaching us to do those kind of projects for them as well. So this is something you can 100% start today, and just let people know that this is something that you do.
Yeah.
All right, let's work our way down the list to maybe a couple interesting ones, but a little trickier to do, so that we leave you with
them
some
coming.
that are super actionable, okay? This is probably very different. These two are a bit different from like the creative field that a lot of our listeners and viewers are probably in, but it's never too late to completely change your whole life. So why the heck not?
Definitely not.
So the first one is actually legal advice / legal aid.
I
So
would have never thought of that one.
I think this is something very interesting. Like a lot of these super kind of like what we traditionally think of as professional jobs are starting to become work from home jobs.
Okay.
Going forward, there's a potential that even more of those jobs will move to being work from home.
Definitely.
So if it's something where you're interested in making a difference in the legal system, or it's something you've been curious about, but maybe you don't like the culture around it, or you don't like the environment or the kind of people that go into it, there's a great opportunity now to utilize those skills and find companies you love that you want to work with. If you have the training, obviously you'll need to go to school for this properly, get like accreditation for it, and it depends on where you live, but these kind of jobs are possible, and it doesn't mean you have to work at some gigantic, annoying law firm somewhere. There's a lot of really cool companies that need these services, and you can kind of create your own little group of hip legal friends and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's kind of like Janet.
Yeah.
She was working at a firm, but then she's had to shift her work from home, which has been just as easy, and which was one of her goals as well. This is a cousin of ours, so yeah,
exactly. So
it's totally possible.
I think along those lines, but maybe something a little bit more accessible to people is this next one. Even though, and it sounds a lot cooler, so you're gonna love it.
Rad.
Security specialist.
Oh God.
Right? Pretty sweet. So what does a security specialist do? So, we're not talking about like bodyguards and Secret Service here. This is more on the tech side of things. So a security specialist helps companies keep their data safe by advising them on good practices for data management, setting up proper systems, doing like security audits of their current systems. And it's something you can go from company to company as a freelancer, essentially doing. People always want to pay money for this because security is very important to large businesses. And often you can actually charge more because paying someone less to secure your business often doesn't seem like a good business decision, So yeah, I don't know if you ever thought of doing becoming IT.
Definitely.
But I think it's cool. You can do it from home, and if you're like a nerdy tech person who kind of like generally aware of that sort of thing and you're looking for something to do, you could probably brush up on this a little bit, do a couple online courses, and within a few months be getting work. So I think this one a little more accessible than the legal aid, with still like huge potential for income.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
So
this is surprising to me. This is really cool. Yeah.
So I got one on here that's like your true calling, but maybe we'll save that for last.
Okay.
So the next one I want to share with you is something actually like a lot of you can do, and that's writing. So writing is one here.
Yeah.
When you think about writing, right? Like I know when we're going to school, everyone's like, oh, don't take English or whatever, don't go into humanities, like there's no jobs. And it's just like silly. Like there's so much writing jobs required right now. There's so much communications, from writing like online social content, to documentation, to manuals, to kind of like recipe writing, press releases. You can kind of find whatever world you want into like within writing and use writing to access that world. And I know that's something you've done writing in the past and done.
I like doing it like once in a while, but like I feel like I have such a specific way of writing that doesn't always apply to certain things.
Right.
I really enjoy commas, which is not proper grammar part of the time. So I don't know. I like it once in a while, but I'm not sure if I could do that full time.
Yeah, well,
but I respect people who do.
And a friend of ours, Tim, he's a writer, and he actually just like moved from Australia, to Toronto. And obviously it's hard to find work when you're in a new city, but like for him, he was able to keep doing a lot of writing work for Australian clients. Yeah. And have this kind of like unique experience where he's like in this new city, but he's not going like, completely out of nowhere. He has some income coming in, and he's able to like make that transition smoother. So I think that's what like writing and like just a lot of work from home jobs like that are really great about, is that, it gives you a lot of personal freedom and flexibility, and you might not want to do it like every day, but it is something you can do a few articles a month, or just work with a couple clients.
Well, the thing about writing is that I feel like it's a job that you can like, if you have like a personal interest, it's something you could very easily find like a client for, if that makes sense. Like, be it like beauty or travel or theme parks. Sometimes you do have to do kind of like really dry stuff. Like I know,
like, that's kind of at every job,
yeah,
right?
but you can like easily contribute to just like lifestyle as well. Yeah. So that might be, and there's so many blogs out there that are also looking for like contributors. So even if you write something the first time and it doesn't go through, there's like always opportunities to like keep trying.
Yeah, and I think it's like crafting a nice balance between those like really exciting projects and those more like sustainable, ongoing projects. Maybe you work with a site that does e-commerce and they're constantly uploading new products and they need product descriptions. So that's kind of like your bread and butter. And then you can do your editorial like articles or whatever it may be to supplement that.
Something a bit more exciting.
Cool. Sweet. So the next one is something we know a lot about, and that's video editing.
Yes.
So video editing is a really cool job.
Can I just say that was one of the ones that I was thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I can say, video editing is a fantastic job. I do probably most of my time is spent video editing. It is something you can do from anywhere in the world, but to some degree, it does help being in the city where you're based in, especially as you start doing higher level work and you're gathering huge amounts of data or footage from people. It can be tricky to do it over the internet to some degree. Not impossible though. So, and that's something also, to become a video editor, it's probably a little more expensive than some of these other jobs in terms of entry. You need a powerful computer, Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro, and then you just need to dedicate a lot of time to learning that program. So you can do that again with any of those tutorials we mentioned, LinkedIn Learning, or like Adobe has tutorials, Creative Live, Skillshare. So it can pay really well. There's a lot of demand for it. We don't really market like our video editing services to other people, and we still kind of continually get work.
Yeah.
So I can imagine if that was like, if you went out there and put it out there that you do this, could get a lot of work. It's also pretty time consuming, and there is some kind of pressure because you are responsible for delivering this creative product. But we don't got to tell you that. You're all creatives, all that drama associated with it.
You know what it's like to get repetitive feedback until something just becomes perfect.
And I'm curious, like you're starting to learn video editing a little bit. We've been going through different aspects, like in terms of like full, like, from not really knowing much other than maybe using iMovie back in the day, like in high school, to starting to see how a video, like we just worked on a video together recently, and we've been working through the post process. What is that like from you, kind of like seeing it? Like, does it seem accessible? Does it seem doable? Is it like really scary?
I think it's definitely like accessible and doable. I think depending on what project it is, you can just be dealing with like a very large amount of footage.
Yeah.
And one thing that I had already known about because of all the work that you've done, but really sitting with you and going through clips that can be incredibly time consuming, even if you put it at a faster speed.
Yeah.
You just might listen to it several times through to like really pull out like a quote or something that you're looking for, or looking for like a piece of B-roll that maybe better suits a certain scene. I think like it's just one of those things that it's like learning Lightroom or even like using a tablet for the first time. It's going to be really finicky and annoying, but the more you do it, it's just, you're going to get it eventually.
So, if you are curious about getting into video and you want to know a lot more details about it, let us know in the comments below. We can talk about it, and make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any videos about that. We do post, like, I did a long video about how to become a magazine photographer, which you should definitely check out. So we could do a video like that on videography, and how to become a video editor or a video shooter as well. Let us know. Okay, I think we're coming to the end. There's two more. The second last one, or the penultimate one, is translation. Or translator.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, like, I don't know who knows the second language, but I do.
I do.
Translation, like, if you think of the world becoming more global and everyone becoming more interconnected, it's becoming more and more important to reach audiences properly, like to have things translated to many languages, whether you're translating captions for a video, a press release that's going out to, millions of people, or you're translating articles for a magazine that's published in multiple languages. There's a ton of different opportunities to put your skills to use. This was one of the things when I was like, I don't know, you probably didn't get it as much, but being an immigrant with a second language, like when you first started like going into work and like creating resumes, people would obsess with, you need to put the fact that you speak Russian on the resume. Like, that's gonna get you the job. It's gonna separate you from every other person who, think about whom applies. Are they gonna be able to speak two languages? No. What if a Russian speaker comes into the photo store that you're working in? You'll be able to help them. Things that have never happened, okay? Like, honestly, it's never come up. It's been like a quirky, fun skill for me to have. But I'm also not someone who like loves language and loves communication like that. If you're passionate about it and you love learning languages, if you love traveling, this is an awesome work from home job. You can go to another country, learn a language, and at the same time, start doing translation works to fund your further adventures. So I think it's pretty cool. It's definitely probably something a lot of people don't consider, but with an increasingly globalized world, I think it's something that's higher and higher in demand every single day.
And you're telling me I shouldn't learn how to speak Russian?
If there was a language you would learn to translate, because that's the thing that people do, a language for you do. I've always wanted to learn French.
French, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, like French, Spanish, but also I was like listening to some Italian people recently, and that sounds like a really beautiful language, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's been so many videos coming out of Italy.
Right.
And there's like people filming like their own video clips to contribute to this, and I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Right. Well, if you are thinking of learning language, one of the apps I've tried and had some success with, and I know a lot of other people have as well, is Duolingo. It's a really fun app.
Yeah.
We'll link it down below, and it's free to get started. They have a ton of languages, and it makes language learning really easy and like fun to do on the go.
Yeah, I should do that again. That's really fun.
Yeah. All right, the last one's got you written all over it.
All right.
And that is voice actor.
Oh yeah, my
So I'll let you take
possible
it from here.
future job, except not really, because I haven't done it yet. Well, what? Just people saying I have a nice voice, like a clear speaking voice?
I mean, we've used your voice for a couple projects
Yeah.
as like samples before we get like a voice actor to
Yes.
do it, and kind of like not even just like reading things, like transcribing in your own voice, but kind of like playing more of a character, doing a voice. And thanks to online marketplaces, there's a huge opening for anyone in the world can be do a voiceover for you. They can record an audiobook. You know, they can
impersonate different actors as well.
Oh yeah,
Like Morgan Freeman,
Yeah.
of course.
I think what you'll eventually need is like a bit of a computer setup, probably a laptop or something, and just like a high quality microphone and maybe a couple of accessories. But I think you can get into it without spending like too much money, maybe a few $100s aside from your computer. And you're good to go, you know.
I think it would also be beneficial though, maybe finding like a course online that can help train you with this, because like when I have heard like small samples of voice clips online, like from, I don't know, Fiverr or whatever the website is.
Literally the example given here, yeah.
Yeah, oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. Like, I'm like, wow, those people are actually like really solid at what they're doing. Yeah, like if it's like a voiceover for like any sort of corporate video that we've done.
Yeah.
And I've also like watched a video about all the training that goes into like professional actors when they go into like a sound booth to record for an animated film or a cartoon. It's actually like a lot of work, and there's like a lot of breath control involved.
Just like industry things of how to
like there are people
editing.
who train actors to speak for like animated films or whatever. So maybe I'm assuming there would be a course online to help you with that.
I'm sure, yeah.
So that would definitely be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is funny. I've had like a couple of times people compliment me on my voice.
Yeah.
Which is so nice, because no one ever likes
so let's
their
do
like
a poll.
recorded
How
voice.
is Becca's voice? No, I'm joking.
No one ever likes their recorded voice, but honestly, doing videos, like I said the other day, it's gotten me used to hearing my own voice a lot.
You just like get over
really
it
not that bad.
Eventually, yeah. Awesome. So these are the jobs. I'm going to go over them one more time. Web developer, programmer, internet marketer, translation or translator, security specialist, legal advice or legal aid, video editing, writing, and finally voice acting.
I think that's a really great list.
It's a really nice mix that, you know, whatever you do or whatever world you're coming from, there probably is something in there that could apply to you, or like a nugget that you can kind of like, you know, a string you can pull on.
And they're not all necessarily like creative.
Yeah.
Like the security or the legal aid, like anyone could kind of enter through that.
Yeah. So
like, you know, realistic.
We'd love to know if you work from home, you know, what's the job that you do? Like, just drop us a note in the comments below. We want to meet you guys. We want you to get to know you, and we want you to get to know us a little bit better. So if you're thinking of changing jobs, you know, let us know. Like, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking of working from home? Is that important to you? Just what's going on right now in your life.
Yeah, and if you have any questions for us, please let us know in the comments as well. We're happy to engage.
Well, thanks a lot for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more informative and inspiring videos. This has been Eugene.
And Becca.
And we'll catch you next time.
Coming from our house.
Peace.
See ya.